The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to Beach FM on the Business Lunch Show with Damian. Now let's welcome into the show from a Paperdoll boutique, Wallflower boutique, and Holy Smoke menswear. It's Trina and Laracy. G'day, Trina.
Hi, Damian. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Excellent. Now, it's not every day that we get a triple threat on the show. It's usually one little startup company that's doing well, but you seem to be doing well with three. So what we like to do first and foremost on the show, and I know Bede isn't on the phone at the moment, but Trina, in your own words, how did you guys come to be? What started it all for you guys and your love for the Kapiti Coast?
Well, gosh, where do I start, Damian? Goodness me.
Big question.
Well, pretty much most of my life I was involved in the fashion industry in some form or level. My mother was a dressmaker, so growing up with fabrics, that was my whole life. It was everywhere. It was me and my sisters always fighting for the sewing machine and things like that. So pretty much I was surrounded with fashion and design because my mum, even though she would call herself a dressmaker, really in her own right, she was probably a designer. You know, right. These days we call people designers about anyone that can create and design, they're a designer. But back then my mum was just a little old dressmaker making clothing for people and wedding dresses and debutante dresses and things like that. So we grew up with lots of lovely colour and beauty around us, so that was really quite special. So when I was 21, I opened up my first store many years ago now, and that was just me and a friend chatting about what we wanted to do, and lo and behold, my first store was created, and I was busy sewing through the night and creating the outfits and putting them on a hanger and selling them in store. So that was way back then. But, life took on a way of its own, and my mother she died in a car crash, unfortunately, so it was really quite sad for me, and at 21 I had to close my first store down. And so many years later, and lo and behold, here I am again, recreating everything again on a completely different level. And gosh, yes, 3 stores, yeah, it is a completely different level. It's a whole different world of its own. But we just love, we love Raumeti, we love the Kapiti Coast, and I ended up coming up to the Kapiti Coast and managing a store for a friend of mine back in 2006 in Raumeti. And lo and behold, a few years later, I ended up buying the store, and Paperdoll was born. So that was kind of the beginning. And we've had Paperdoll for quite some time now, and always was quite happy with just the one store. Beautiful clothing, forever pieces, we call them, so that, you know, when people buy something, they know they're getting an outfit that lasts and it looks beautiful, and they can pass it on down to their daughters or their granddaughters. Oh, cool. You know, we sort of feel like, Damian, that, you know, if you're buying something for a special occasion or you're buying something to wear just for every day, you want to know that you're going to have that garment for quite some time, and that it's not going to end up sort of next year around being, you know, ending up at the landfill or something like that. So, yeah, we kind of call them forever pieces. So that's Paperdoll. And then, of course, we had ladies coming in all the time, lovely ladies coming in saying, if only there was some place for their men to go. And so that sort of got my head going, and my brain's a bit like that. I kept saying, if there's a need for something, I keep thinking I have to fill that need. Yep. I don't know, there are quite a lot of people out there like me that probably feel, gosh, if there's a gap where someone's desperate for something, you want to be able to sort that out for them. So absolutely. Holy Smoke was born, and that menswear became the equivalent of Paperdoll, but for the men. So cool. We had a lot of people saying that ticked all the boxes for them, because they could come and see us, and then they could send their man down to Holy Smoke. And, of course, Bede has been a big part of Holy Smoke, so it's been quite exciting for him. So excellent. Yeah. So lo and behold, Paperdoll and Holy Smoke are in Raumeti Beach there, and they're only 3 doors apart. But we often find that people are running down to each store. The men run down and show the woman their outfit, and then the woman run down to the men's store. So we sort of have like this little village feel of us.
Absolutely. And I like that, you know, your product is not just the now, you know, something to wear this weekend and then it's gone. You're looking stories
Yeah.
behind it as well. And I love that stuff. So tell me, the names, how did those pluck out of the air?
Oh, well, Paperdoll, growing up, I was always a Paperdoll freak. I always had, in fact, I've still got all my lovely Paperdolls, despite the fact that I only had sons. I've got two beautiful boys, and I never had the daughters. And so my sister, who had four daughters, ended up with my Paperdolls. And only recently, I asked my sister, I said, could I have some of my Paperdolls back? Here I am at my age asking for my Paperdolls back. And, of course, they came back to me. And it took me right back to when I was really young, and I used to cut out all the little paper dolls and then put the dresses on, and so it was quite sweet. I don't play with them now, I promise you. I have real live paper dolls to play with now.
Fair enough. Hey, no judgment here. You're talking to a 6'4" child. So you've been around the traps. It's you know, you've learned different types of retail. But what are some of those biggest learnings that you just didn't know? Although you knew fashion and you knew, you know, how to put together a design, etc. But what was it about business that kind of smacked you in your face and you kind of had to learn pretty quickly?
Oh gosh, every day I'm learning something, Damian.
That's the one.
Yeah. Well, my husband, Bede was doing for many years teaching small business management. So often, you know, those courses kind of like prepare you for lots of different things. So it would be we'd always be sitting and chatting about business, and it was quite interesting because I would come at business from a completely different angle to what my husband does. So Bede often will challenge me on certain things, and I'll challenge him, and it works really well because I probably operate from the heart, and he operates from the head.
Sounds like my relationship.
I think between the two of us, we sort of, you know, work these things out. But honestly, to be honest, every day there's always challenges. I find online has been a really huge challenge for us.
Right. And
through COVID, we had to actually force ourselves to go online with one of our shops because we just felt like there was not a single, you know, nothing coming in through that whole entire time because we weren't online, and there were all these other businesses out there that were able to, you know, work quite well through COVID through having online. So that was a real challenge for us, and it really had to change our thinking because we're a bricks and mortar store where people come into us and we have relationships, so to speak, with these people. We've never been we don't have an online presence, so apart from Facebook and Instagram, that's kind of been the most that we have. So it was a real learning curve for us, and I think my husband got a few more grey hairs through trying to go online, but he had to manage it all himself from at home, and I'm quite proud of how he did it, but he did it, and I was so surprised. Yeah, so that was probably one of the biggest things for us at the moment.
Excellent. Hey, a lot of people have had to pivot over this whole crazy time, you know, on whether it be adapting online, and with it hasn't been the easiest times for retail. So with 3 stores, my friend, how have you been?
Oh, it was hard. I tell you, I won't lie, Damian. It was really tough. It was really, really tough, and in fact, if I could just be really real here,
please.
When it happened, I kind of was excited that I was getting some time off to be at home because, as you probably know, with retail, it's pretty much a 7-day-a-week thing, and we never get a lot of time to just sort of, I don't know, clean the backyard and, you know, do the housework that, you know, like cleaning the windows, those big jobs that you never get done. So in some respects, I was so excited. I was like, oh, gosh, I get to be at home. I can do this and this and this. All those little projects that I wanted to do, I was able to do. But on the other side of it, I was very, very concerned and very worried because suddenly everything you put your whole life into, like every part of my brain is always thinking about the businesses, the people, the customers, the relationships we've built, the clothing. You know, I've got so much that I'm thinking about. To suddenly have that come to a halt was this huge realization for me that your businesses could close. You know, you don't actually. It isn't until it happened, till COVID happened, that I actually had time to think about what this really means. That at one you're one step away from, closing your doors sort of thing. And so for us, it was a real time of just trust, trying to trust and trust in ourselves and trust in what we had, and to try and accept the fact that if it did all, go, how would this be for us? And so it was a real struggle in our minds. Both of us had different ways of thinking about things, but I tell you, to be honest, the beautiful thing that happened after COVID was when the day we opened our doors again, the public were amazing, and the local public and the Kapiti region were just phenomenal. I can't thank the people enough, because they, as we came out of COVID, they were just their kindness and support for the small businesses and the support local just blew us away. And I think I have to thank the government for her support local scheme that she pushed. It really worked. People just were incredible. They're coming in and they were giving me hugs, and that meant the world to me, because I'm a real heart person, and for me it was all about my customers. So when they came in, I just burst into tears one day, because they were just so amazing. They'd come in and they'd say to me, look, we love you guys. We don't want any of you guys to close down. So the village was important to them, and they wanted to support us. So everybody was great. Yeah, I just have to put a shout out there to the whole of the local scene.
I love hearing those stories, how much it's, from someone looking and talking to, I think we're over 100 people in the Business Lunch Show now, like just how much everybody has supported each other, people going back into the workforce, or, getting your business up and running it. And the first day isn't even, the post I haven't even seen, we're back. It's been like, go and support our next door neighbour. And I think it's just the Kapiti Coast and Horowhenua, I just think we're going to be in a good position after this, I think.
Oh, look, I'm just blown away by the stories. We just get people coming in and talking to us about how they looked after their neighbours or their elderly parents or things like that. It's just been the most, incredible time. We've seen adversity, but through it has been an incredible, heartfelt, love, and everything that's come through it has always got their stories, and everybody's got something to talk about, and it's been so precious to see.
It has.
It's been lovely.
It has.
And I mean, I guess for me, I think I've probably said this to a couple of my customers. If COVID had happened for us, say maybe 3 or 4 weeks before it did, in some respects we would have been a lot better off, because what happened with us is that, and it will be with a lot of businesses, is all of our stock arrived.
Right.
Like from all over, our winter stock turned up, like basically on our doorstep. And 2 weeks later, we went into shutdown. And so you've got to think of hundreds of thousands of dollars just turns up for the season, and you can't pay for that if there's nothing happening.
Exactly.
Your whole doors are closed. So we were sort of saying, if only COVID had happened 2 weeks earlier, well, that stock wouldn't have arrived. But it is what it is, and we are okay. We are gonna, we're getting through this, and everybody is doing well at supporting locals. So we're just so grateful, so grateful.
Absolutely.
And our little stores, people have come in and said to us, gosh, we love your stores. Even the one in the mall has got a completely different feel and a completely different, a lot of, the customers are different. But the people have been coming into the mall saying, gosh, we just hated it when the mall was closed. People couldn't congregate. They couldn't get together and be around other people. Yeah. There was this kind of feel of like they were lonely, and they'd come back into the mall and they'd come up and hug me and say, oh, we're so glad you're open.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, so
awesome stuff. Hey, I love hearing all that stuff, so thank you for sharing it. Lastly, where can people find you? How can they get in touch? Where can they follow you? All that stuff.
Well, gosh, I'm very easy to get in touch with. They can either come down to Raumiri Beach for the 2 stores, the Holy Smoke and Paperdoll, or they can go up to Coastlands Mall for Wallflower Boutique, which is right opposite Farmers. And also they can contact us through Facebook. We've got Facebook pages. We've got our online shop now with Wallflower. They can also go to our Instagram pages, or they can actually ring me personally. I mean, my business cards have my my cell phone number on there. So yeah, they can come down and see us or look us up in the phone book. I don't know if people do that. Actually, do they? Do they go in the phone book?
Let's find a phone book.
Yeah, that sounds terrible, doesn't it, Damian? But anyway, 04902 5798 is Paperdoll, and Holy Smoke is 0489 200 and Wallflower is 04212 555. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today, Trina. All the best to you and Bede, and I'll come and say hi and put the face to the name very soon.
Yeah, come and see us in Margaret Road, Raumati Beach.
Yeah, well, I've already seen a few.
Come and get some threads for yourself.
Oh yeah, I've already seen the tweed on the Holy Smoke, so I might have to come and indulge.
Yeah, we'd love to see you. We'll look after you. Okay,
Awesome.
Damian, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.